we've also got to talk about this, and who knows quite a lot about this. One of the big investors in clean technology. He has investments in biofuel, solar, and wind, and runs one of the largest clean tech funds in the world. Alan Salzman, CEO of VantagePoint Partners. And earlier this year, he announced he was committing $2.5 billion to a new clean tech fund. Now, Alan, the disaster in Japan lets us look at clean tech in a whole different light, not just as an oil substitute, but as a safety substitute. Was that in your mind when you start to make investments in clean tech?
It really wasn't. Our hearts go out to the people of Japan who are dealing with this horrible tragedy. But the fundamental thinking that shaped our viewpoint was really that we have a finite amount of resources in the world that need to produce the energy and materials and clean water that mankind needs. And we had to rethink how to do it to create diversity and safety in our supply chain.
All right, Alan, do you have any investments in the nuclear sphere?
We do not, and throughout the technology innovation industry, there's virtually no investments in nuclear technologies. Nuclear is uninsurable. The timelines and the costs involved in developing are really staggering. I don't think we've had a new nuclear facility come online in well over 30 years within the United States.
Alan, right now we're seeing positive trading in renewable energy stocks. Do you see a fundamental change in investor sentiment and support for renewable energy because of this?
Look, I think it has emphasized the need for diversity in our energy stocks. And I think we have to recognize that there's a variety of ways to meet our energy needs. One that doesn't get spoken of nearly enough is efficiency and the energy supply and power plants that you don't have to build. That's what all the efforts about smart grid and LED lighting and energy storage is really addressing. On the other side of the equation, please.
Do you think what's going on in Japan is going to be a big blow to investments in nuclear energy?
Well, again, there's very little from the innovation technology sector that has been going on in the last 20 years in nuclear, and I don't see this as increasing that investment levels. On the other hand, American companies like BrightSource Energy are developing in the California desert as we speak an alternative form of gigawatt capacity utility scale power plants that really obviates the need for conventional nuclear or coal-fired power plants. And I think this is a hugely important development that is taking place as we speak.
Alan, there's got to be some regulatory concerns as well when it comes to things like solar. I mean, the big solar arrays face local opposition for, environmental reasons, for all sorts of reasons when it comes to the local community wanting to put these massive multi-acre fields in their communities. Do you think that we're going to see a real change in the way these projects get through because of what's happening in Japan today?
Look, any form of energy that you're going to generate carries with it certain burdens. If you're putting solar photovoltaic on rooftops, it's probably as benign an environment as you could operate within. When companies like BrightSource are building essentially mirror farms in the middle of the desert, where only the turtles and the iguanas inhabit, you probably have as benign an environment in which to generate energy, and an environment that really is not prone in any way to catastrophe thanks to Mother Nature. So I think you have to do the balancing between the alternatives.
No, appreciate that, Alan. I can see you hating on turtles, but we're not going to hold that against you. And we're thankful you can come on the show. Alan Salzman, investor in the clean tech world. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
Appreciate being here.
Next